Hi, I'm Gina. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to focus on some poses to help strengthen the hamstring muscles. The hamstrings are a set of 3 muscles in the back of the thigh, and we do a lot of poses in yoga that stretch them. Downward facing dog, forward bends, either standing forward bend or seated forward bends, and these sometimes our hamstring muscles are a little too lengthened and we need to strengthen them a little bit. So there are a few poses that we can do in yoga to help strengthen our hamstrings. So for today, you will need a yoga block or something to function like a yoga block. It can be a box that's sturdy, or about the shape of a yoga block, or even a few books kind of taped together or tied together for a pose that we're going to do when we come down. But as far as the rest of the poses, you won't need any special thing to use, just a non-slip surface. And if you want to be, we're going to start with a little balancing pose. So if you want to be close to something to hang on to, I'm going to be holding on to my deck railing here. But if you want to be close to a wall or use a chair, you can use that to start with. But first thing, we're going to just start in a mountain pose to just land in our space today. So mountain pose, we want the feet to be hip distance apart. Lift all your toes up off the mat, spread the toes, place the toes down. So you find this nice grounded foundation. Make sure you feel weight in the heel and the ball of the foot, tiny bit more weight in the heel than in the ball of the foot, but think of pressing the toes down into the mat. Think of lifting the inner arch of the foot, lift the kneecaps, lift the sternum, feel energy up through the crown of the head. Let the arms release down by your side. And just close the eyes for a few moments. Focus on your breathing. Just noticing the flow of the breath moving gently in and out of the nose. And just take a moment to let the mind quiet. And check in and see how you feel today. And begin to take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Feeling the connection of the feet to the earth and feeling the length of your spine reaching up towards the sky. And then very gently let the eyes open. So for this first pose, we are going to do a little balancing pose. Again, I'm going to use my deck railing here. You can use a wall or a chair. So holding on to whatever surface you need, and you can kind of get this started and then test yourself and let go of whatever you're holding on to if you'd like. But starting in your mountain pose, we're going to start with the right leg lifting. The left leg is going to be your standing leg. So just lift the right heel. Think of touching your right heel towards your glute. It's not going to get there, but think of touching the right heel towards the glute. You can either flex the toes or point the toes, whatever feels more comfortable for you. But you should feel the muscles in the back of the upper thigh, the hamstring muscles working. And then gently release the toes back down towards the mat. And then bend that knee once again, think of heel towards the glute. So we're basically doing a little hamstring curl here. We're going to do a variation down on the mat too. But just a couple movements here, just feeling that sensation. I feel a lot of sensation, you may too. And then if you'd like, you can keep that foot lifted. Again, think of drawing the heel towards the glute. Then you can think of bringing the knee maybe a little bit back, intensifying that sensation. And then maybe think of a little hinge forward of that standing leg, tiny little back bend there. Inhale and exhale, and then let that release down. Maybe shake that leg out, maybe shake both legs out. That was pretty intense for me, I don't know about you. So then turning the opposite direction. If you like, you don't have to. You can just work with the other leg, but if you want to turn the opposite direction, actually I think I'll stay this way so you can see the leg closer to the camera this time. So again, find your mountain pose, holding onto something or not. Weight into the right foot, and as you do that, make sure that as you lift that left leg, you're not letting the weight dump over into your left hip, or excuse me, right hip. So lift that leg behind you. Again, think of bringing the heel towards the gluteal muscle. Inhale and exhale, and then again, just those little curls here, nice and slow. Think of focusing on your breath. The toe can just gently tap down, and again, think of heel towards the glute. Inhale and exhale. And then again, you can pause there. Again, think of drawing the heel towards glute, maybe the knee a little further away. And again, maybe that little hinge of the hip, little variation here of a balancing pose. And again, you can keep hold of the wall or whatever you're holding onto, or maybe bring that hand to the hip and then land that leg back down. Again, just shake out both legs. So again, we're working on strengthening the hamstring muscles. You should feel that in what we call the belly part of the hamstring muscle, this big part of the 3 hamstrings that are in the back of the leg. So we're going to come down to the mat and do a similar thing on all 4s. So go ahead and come down to the ground. And again, just have your block off to the side. We'll use that in a few minutes. So spread the fingers wide, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Just come to your table pose first, and we'll do just a tiny warm up here for the spine. So exhale, round your spine up towards the ceiling or sky. Feel that stretch through the back of the body. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, lift the heart and the sternum, gaze forward and up. So do that a few times, just working a little bit with warming up through the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. After your next exhale, come back to neutral. And then the same idea, we're going to extend the right leg back, lift the right leg up, and then bend the right knee. Think of drawing the heel towards the gluteal muscle. So now we can really focus a little bit on core engagement here. So inhale, extend the leg, and then exhale, bend the knee. Inhale and exhale. And again, we're working those muscles, those hamstring muscles there. But think of drawing the lowest ribs towards the hips so you have the opportunity to work the core while we're down here. Good. And then one more time, exhale, bend, inhale, lengthen, and then release that leg down, release the right knee down, and then slide the left leg back. Press through the heel, lift the left leg, keep pressing into the top of the right foot, even weight in the hands, draw the lowest ribs towards the hips, exhale, bend your left knee. Again, think of reaching it towards the glute, and then extend. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhaling and extending. A couple more times. Exhale and inhale. Keep breathing. Exhale and inhale. Find that core, lowest ribs towards the hips. And then the next time that you inhale, release the left knee down. Release that leg, and you can, if you'd like, fold all the way back to child pose, hips towards the heels, forehead to the mat. Just give everything a release here. Inhale and exhale. And then pressing into the hands, lift the torso. We're going to come all the way onto our bellies. So again, just move your block out of the way. We're going to save it for the last pose. So slide your arms all the way in front, legs all the way behind you. So a great way to strengthen all the muscles in the back of the body, including the hamstrings, is locust pose. So we're going to do a couple of locust pose variations here. So start with the arms overhead, palms to the mat, forehead to the mat. Press into the tops of the feet, energize the legs. Inhale, lift the right leg. It doesn't matter how high. Lift the left arm. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift the left leg and the right arm. You can lift the head or keep the head, forehead on the mat. But if you lift the head, just keep your gaze down. Exhale, release down. Now, if adding the arms kind of takes away the sensation for you of focusing on your hamstrings, you can just lift the leg. So inhale, lift just the right leg, and exhale, lower. And inhale, lift just the left leg. And exhale, lower. So your option, couple more times here. Inhale, lifting right leg, left arm if you'd like. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, lower. Good. One more time each side. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Now, let your arms relax. Maybe stack the hands up, turn your head to one side. Just take a breath. Let the legs relax. Maybe jiggle the hips a little bit. Turn the head the opposite direction. Again, big breath in and out. Now, one more locust variation here. So bring your hands down beside your hips, palms to the floor, forehead to the floor. Press into the palms, press into the feet. Lift the legs, lift the head. Option, if you like, to reach the arms back. You can also keep the hands on the mat. Exhale, release everything down. Press into the feet. Draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lifting up. And again, maybe your hands stay on the mat. That's fine. And exhale and lower down. Go a couple more times. Press into the feet. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Good. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower down. And then once again, just bring your hands in front. Again, maybe stack the hands up. You can let the forehead rest on the hands. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring your hands beside the chest. Hug your elbows in towards your ribs. Inhale, press up to table pose. I'm going to find a neutral position here. So come to table pose, draw the lower belly in. Inhale and exhale. Now a little counter pose to our front extensions there, our back bends rounding into a cat pose. And then very gently come back to your table pose. And then swing the feet off to one side. And you're going to come onto your seat with your feet towards the top of your mat. Now you're going to use that block. And again, it can be a couple books stacked up. If you have a really sturdy box that's not going to collapse, that's about this shape, you can use that too. So we're going to place the block between our thighs. You're going to come down onto your back with your heels underneath your knees. Gaze gently up towards the ceiling. So once we get into this shape, we're going to do a variation of bridge pose here. You want to, once your hips are lifted, keep your gaze looking up. Don't turn your head side to side. So this block between the thighs, we're going to be squeezing that block. Press into the palms, press into the forearms, the upper arms. Think of drawing the shoulder blades a little bit towards the spine. Press into the feet. Lift the hips up, straight line from shoulders to hips to knees. Again, see if you can feel that engagement of those gluteal muscles as you squeeze that block. Inhale. Think of lifting the sternum towards the chin and the chin towards the sky. Inhale. And exhale. Gently lower down one vertebrae at a time. Once you come down, pause. We're going to do this 2 more times. So press into the feet. Inhale, begin to lift the tailbone up, lift the hips up, lift the spine up. Again, maybe tucking the shoulders a little bit under, lifting the sternum. Squeeze that block. Feel those muscles, those hamstring muscles engage. And then slowly, again, lowering down one vertebrae at a time as you exhale. Pause here for a breath. Inhale and exhale. And then one more time, pressing into the feet. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Again, think of that straight line from shoulders to hips to heels. Really think of pressing and keeping activity in the arms. So you're pressing into the palms, the forearms, the upper arms. Shoulder blades towards the spine, gaze towards the ceiling or sky, and then slowly again lowering back down. Just take the block, place the block out of your way, and just slide one leg out, the other leg out, turn the palms up, close the eyes for just a couple moments, let everything relax. Nice full breaths in and out. Noticing sensations you may be feeling in your hamstrings. And then as you're ready, gently bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug. Roll over onto your side. Gently make your way up to a seated position, whatever feels comfortable for you. Again, let the eyes remain closed for just another moment. Big breath in. Long, slow breath out. And as you're ready, gently let the eyes open. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that little session. I hope you can feel your hamstrings. So for those of you who ride, your hamstring muscles, you need to be able to activate those when you need to move your lower leg back to ask for a canter aid, or you need to adjust the leg slightly to ask a different aid, use it as different aid for when you're riding. So it's important that those hamstring muscles are effective. So this is a little sequence to kind of wake them up a little bit. I hope you enjoyed that. And of course, it's important to have that balance. We do stretch them a lot, so we want to find that balance with the strengthening also. So please do check out Grey Horse Yoga in the info section below. I teach an online class every Wednesday evening on Zoom, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Would love to see you there. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.